Well, good evening, everyone. Back here at DTR then. It's felt like an age, but we're back after Christmas and the New Year break. And you're back with Division 2 here on Wednesday. Got a nice eventful race for you. A lot of the main drivers are in here. And to be honest, I cannot remember where we're at in the standings, so it'd be a good chance to review that at some point this evening. Obviously we're in Monza today. Looks pretty sunny so far. A little bit of rain might spice some things up. We've had a little bit of rain in this division this year already. But I'm really excited to watch Turn 1. And I think Waz is the man to watch. Is he here? He's meant to be. Yeah, there he is in the Williams. He's 7th at the moment. Mr. Bulldozer. So the last event was at Spa. And if I remember rightly, there was quite a bit of chaos in that race. Can't quite recall exactly why, but I remember chaos. And actually, I think our championship leader didn't actually end up finishing the race, you know. But I'll come on to that in a sec. As we have an Alpine is the first car on track. Let's find out who that is. It's got to be Stuart, I think. It is. So TGL will take us on a lap of Monza whilst he finishes his out lap. So Nexton is our joint championship leader after his DNF in Belgium, and little Mikey finished 7th last week, got on 84 points. Then got Jordan just behind. He came second and has pulled himself right back in contention, 76 points. And then we've got Honky. He is in 4th with 60 points, I think that is. Yeah, 60 points. And then we've got Athanashi, 53 points. Javi, 49. Zetable, 47. Rayleigh at 41. Guna, 38. Wazza, 36. That's top 10. And then Evan just outside that with 31. And then Maradako, Brandon. And then just some other small point score. TGL is now on a lap and he is absolutely flying down the home straight and into the first chicane. Just got to be careful of traction out of here. There's a slight little bump there that gets your revs up. And then this is slight right pink, which then turns into another chicane. Again, you've got to slow the car right down, use a little bit of curbing, be careful you don't get out of shape. And then a couple of fast right-handers, you've just got to keep as much momentum in the car there, let it run out wide, back on the power, and again, a little bit tighter the second one, keep the momentum, tuck in behind that little car, get a bit of slipstream. Here we go into another set of chicanes. Now this is a bit faster, a little bit more technical, and he's run a little bit wide there. And you've got to be careful taking too much curve, and that is invalid. So let's jump on with the McLaren just behind. That's an outlap. What about a Ferrari? Not Nexton. Maradako just finished the lap. And then you get to the final corner, which is long. You've got to get the car slowed down though, and then start to push as hard as you can on the exit. But in quali, you're going to keep the car to the right-hand side just to shorten the track, and that's a 1:19.7. And from memory of this track, that's pretty quick. Hayward in at a 20.3. Who else have we got? We've got one of the McLarens, Mercedes, sorry. Is it Rayleigh? He got an outlap though. Looks like he invalidated whatever lap he was on before. So let's watch the Mercedes then. DRS wide open. 2 DRS zones from memory. This one on the pit straight, and then the second one, which Nexton now takes provisional pole with a 19.6. And those Ferraris have been phenomenal in qualifying this season. Always up there. And the 2 Red Bulls are right behind them. About a second back. So a little bit of work to do for them. As Rayleigh comes up to... She's been very cautious there. Kept right away from the curbs, which can unsettle the car. And Honky now. That's a huge improvement on Nexton. That's a 19.3. So good lap so far from him. And here is the second DRS zone I was talking to you about. And then this next straight that we come up to, there is no DRS on that straight. This is really important here to manage your ERS because there's not many braking zones, which means you can't recharge your battery. So you've got to keep hold of it as much as possible, and you can't lose the DRS to the car in front of you because it is so hard to get back into DRS range, especially as there's not many corners here. So it's all on straight line speed. Relic is now on his way up to the line, and how does he start his day? It's a 120.6. Xavi's in there with a 20.5. Connor in there with 20.9, and little Mikey goes in there just behind his teammate there, 19.8, and one of the title challengers. So good work from him. Brandon, I think, is the only other car currently on a fast lap. He's just in second 2 now. Uses all the track there, but invalidates actually. So what about Wazza then? No, he's not quite round his outlap. Who's close to finishing their outlap? Athanasiou. He's up there in the standings. See what he can do. So goes purpose sector 1. Not sure how much I trust that track map because I can lie to you often. I was just trying to see if I can get hold of the constructors because I didn't actually go through that part, did I? Just want to see if I can get hold of those results while we watch Athanasiou on the screen. Currently gone purple again. Here we go. So Mercedes currently on top with 125 points, Ferrari second 106 points, McLaren then 96, Williams 85. So here comes Athanasiou then, apparently been purple all the way around. What does he put in? A 19.9. I can't imagine he lost all of that in the final sector, so I think the map was lying to us. And someone else has just put a time in as we jump on board with the Rayman. Honey Badger has got a 20.5. I haven't seen him on the board yet. No one been able to challenge Honky's 19.3 just yet. I think it must have been Honey that jumped in there at the time. And Jack the lad, Kazingle is back with his teammate Guna. Has actually been out for a little while too. So good to have you boys back on track. See how those guys managed to perform today. So the Rayman then just coming down into the end of sector 3, goes around the final corner. And it's just a drag race to the line. Here he comes. Where is he going to put that Alpha Tauri? Puts it in 12th with a 20.9. Jackie Boy then on his return, straight in the pits. Well done, mate. What about Guna actually? He's about to start a lap. Let's stay on board with him. And then a little bit wide just to get that extra bit of momentum to start his lap. And here we go. Opens up the DRS. Just got to slam the brakes on here into turn 1. Takes good momentum through there. Sometimes you can hear people giving it a bit of a dab of the throttle through there, but he hasn't. He just let it roll through. Slow down for the next chicane. Bit of a curb there. Got to be careful it can unsettle the car. Just have to be patient again then on the throttle after hitting it. Attack that nicely. Again, slow the car down. Let it roll through the corner and hammer the throttle on exit. Open your DRS. Try and get these boys to slipstream you to the end. Slipstream down here is huge. but DTR is also horrific. Mercedes moves out of the way. Two with his toe actually. I wonder if that's his brother, Reliant. The Aston does well to get out of the way there as well. He carries good momentum through there. Didn't quite get to the apex, but carries good speed through. Here he comes. Where's he going to be? Looking like he's going to be in the 120s to start. It's a 20.3 and up to 8. So reasonable start for Gunnar. We've got 3 cars here yet to put a time in. Brandon is actually out on track. He's on an outlap. Let's watch him. So just looking through the standings while we watch Brandon on this lap, we've got Honky provisional pole. He's now on an outlap, 19.3. Nexon looks like he's pumping in his next lap, 19.4. So he's actually improved. So I wonder if he's on his way in. Only a 10th back now. Haywood then in third with a 19.6. Evan with a 19.6. Got some yellow flags. I think that's just cars getting out of the way. Or cars are out of fuel, I think. Might be Nexton. And then we've got Maridarco 19.7, Mikey in a 19.8, Relia in a 19.9, two Mercedes doing pretty well there. And then we've got the Aston Martin Athanasiou with a 19.9. And then we've got Gunnar, Xavi, Hackett, Honey Badger, Wazza, Berserk, all in the 20s. And Brandon jumps up with a 20.0 and jumps up into the top 10. So, Kazingal on an outlap. Let's watch TGL. He's got to put in a lap. We saw him earlier invalidate one earlier, so he's got some work to do. Got about 5 minutes left, so people will be coming out. If they're coming out now, it will be probably for their final run. People might just be able to get back in now and have another go. He's over the line, it's 20.5, so we'll want to do a bit better than that. Athanasiou actually improves, he's now on a 19.5. Who have we got out on track? We've got Maridarco. He's not on a lap. Brandon. Unlikely he's on a lap, but we'll just check. Nope, he's not. What about Wazza? Give me a good view of his car so I can tell if he's actually on a lap or not. He probably is on a lap. Uses all the track there. Oh, and gets excited. I think that's probably the end of that hot lap. That was too much of a mistake to recover, really. Still going. The timer reckons that he's lost some time there. Jack goes straight into second. Why am I not watching him? Look at that with a 19.3. Not been on the game for about 3 months. I reckon he's lying. I reckon he's been pumping in training sessions 24/7. Comes straight back and smashes next to him. That's not a guy that's been away from this for 3 months. I'll tell you that for free. He's been practicing every day. Maridarco's just about to start a lap now. And people want to be heading out probably in the next minute or so to make sure they get their final lap in. So this will probably be it for Maridarco now. Ferraris really all season have been brilliant in qualifying, but not quite been able to convert it in the races. So it'll be interesting to see whether they can do that today. Maradako takes to the gravel there, which is probably not the ideal line. So Joe got some time to find if he wants to get back up into that third spot that he held onto for so long. He's definitely got the ability. Seems like he's been practicing hard over the Christmas break. Validated actually, didn't notice that. So what about Honey Badger? Seems to be on a lap. Not a very quick one. I think TGL's just pushed himself up with a 19.9, just gone into 10th, and the two Mercedes haven't improved their times and just dropping back slightly now. Got Berserk in the Aston Martin. He's going to start a lap now because he's not improved that lap. He's probably bailed out of it and is starting again now. Start slowed down nicely. He goes purple in the second sector, but again, just got to take that with a pinch of salt. We'll see if he has shortly, but he's just invalidated, unfortunately. Maradaka and Guna are done. What about our title contenders? Nexton being one of them. He apparently has just gone purple second sector. He's diving out of the way. Go. It's a 19-1. Honky's got into the 18s. I didn't see that come up. Kazingle then relegated down to third. Athanasu is improving. Where is he going to end up? He's only about a tenth better off. So Jack is the challenger at the moment. But maybe he's got a bit of time to find in sector 3. And that looks as tidy as it could be. It's purple in the second sector apparently. Again, going to have to wait until we get to the line to understand if that's true. He comes around the final corner now. Just takes the tighter line. Try and shorten the track, and here he comes. It looks pretty quick. It's a 19-1, but not enough for second. So he just nips in front of Jack there. What about Mikey? He's 2.5 tenths improving. That could see him up to, and he dives into the pit. So obviously not improving. Anyone else to go? Xavi just about to come across the line, seems to improve by 5 tenths. He's up into 12th, so next to his teammate on the grid. What about Hackett then? He's invalidated. Jack, I think, is in the pits. Next one's done. Therefore, that is going to be your lineup. So we've got Honky with exceptional pace today, 2 tenths ahead of Nexton. Who has not much to split between him and Athanasu, and Jack on his return with a brilliant quali lap there with a 19.3, and that's where there's a bit of a division here now. Joey with a 19.6, Evan with a 19.6, Maradaka 19.7, we've got the 19.8s, 19.9s all the way down to about 12th, and actually the whole grid is really only separated by just over 1.5 seconds, so nice tight-knit group we've got here. And an interesting race about to come up with Nexton and Mikey currently tied for points for the championship, and they will start in 2nd and 8th. So it's Honky then from Nexton, Athanasiu in 3rd, Kazingle in 4th, Hayward 5th, Evan 6th, Maridarko 7th, Mikey 8th, Brandon 9th, Reliot 10th, and then we've got Stuart, Xavi, Wazza, Honey Badger, Guna, Connor, Hackett, Berserk and Rayman. So that is your order. We're just going to take a few minutes for the lobby to set up for the race, and then that will give the drivers an opportunity to set their tactics for the race, what strategy they're going to go on. Hopefully we'll see some rain, and the one thing that I promise will happen is carnage into turn 1. Just can't avoid it here. You're going from max speed all the way down to nothing, with 20 drivers arriving there at pretty much the same time. It looks sunny, so we're probably not going to be given rain. I'm sure the drivers will be relieved about that, but for us, it makes good viewing to see changing conditions. Who knows, there might be some rain later in the race. So Honky leads us around this formation lap. The drivers have selected their setups. So what strategies have we gone for here? We've got Honky next going for the soft, I assume soft medium they can do. We've then got the next 3 drivers on the mediums. We've got a couple of drivers then on the softs, Evan and Maridarko. TGL goes for the hards. Honey Badger on the softs further back. Guna on the hards, everyone else on the mediums. So very mixed strategies here, and that will cause carnage into turn 1 for sure. So let's see how things go. We've got Honky setting up in the grid. This is going to be, that's going to be my camera angle for the start, isn't it? I don't know if I can use that. Maybe I will. We can just about see the lights in the top left corner. It's not really showing me much of the grid though. We'll try it. So Honky is the man on pole, and we'll be giving everyone behind him slipstream. But here we go. The lights are coming on. I can't see how many. All 5 are on. And away we go. Honky's got a great start there. So's the Aston Martin. Nexton looks like he's getting swallowed up quite quickly. Let's get off board and see what happens into turn 1. There's a bit of jostling there for position. I can't really see what's going on. So Honky actually gets a bit sideways. It hasn't caused anything behind him. He was too far in front. Let's go backwards a little bit. Everyone seems to have got through here safely. Maybe slowly, but safely. So back to the front. Honky keeps his position and actually has pulled out a major lead. Nexton has been caught up there and has lost quite a bit of time there. So Honky, and Brandon's got a penalty already. Corner cutting, probably trying to avoid an incident. But we'll have to serve that in the race. We've got some yellow flags a bit further back into that second hairpin, and that's Jack at the back now. So he's been caught up in it. These timings are awful, so I'm not going to be able to time when an overtake's coming. But here we go. We've got Honky, Athanasu, Nexton, Joe. Then we've got Maridarko. Mikey up to 6th. He's gained 2 places. Evan in 7th. Honey Badger 8th. Relly at 9th. And Wazza makes up your top 10. Stewart there, no wing whatsoever. Hackett is on his way through when he gets to the straight. And we've got a few cars back here that are going to be jostling for position because they're all quite close together. But these cars at the back here that are getting detached are going to have a bit of a problem. But Athanasu now really closing in on Honky. And with the slipstream, no DRS yet because we're not into lap 3. Honky seems to be really slippery into that first corner. And I can't remember, I think Nexton was on the softs, you know. Yeah, Athanasu doing a great job on the mediums there. Maridarko to 4 on the softs. So the softs are creeping their way up the field, which is to be expected. They have a bit more grip. This timing board is knackered. So I'm really sorry if I miss overtakes here. It's going to be impossible for me to know when anyone's close enough to be making an overtake. So we just have to keep flicking down the field and seeing what's happening. Evan quite close to the back of Joe here. I think Evan was on the softs from memory. Mikey will just be desperately behind, trying to keep in touch when that DRS opens next lap. So this is quite a close battle. We've got a big bunch of cars a bit further back there, which is headed up by, I think, more Berserk than Hackett. Hackett seems to be in his own little pocket, I think. So yeah, there's a little train back there, little train up here, and then we've got the front 2, and Nexton's trying to be part of it, and actually Athanasu early gets past Honky, and look at Honky coming straight back. Wonder if there's a bit of wing difference, but Nexton has found the pace again now. He's settled down and he's joined these two, and they're creating a little 3-car breakaway. And then we've got Maridarko, who just holds up the rest of the field, which is Evan and Joe. Mikey just on the back of it, and he will do well if he can just keep tabs with these guys and jump onto the quicker tyres later on in the race. Evan now making a move on Maridarko. That's a great move, gets in front of him just before the corner, brakes well. Both drivers did well there, gave each other space, and the timings have now sorted themselves out, which is great. Gives us a better chance of understanding where people are making moves. Brandon at the back of the field. Looks like Jack has pitted. Kazingle at the back there. He needs a safety car to bring him back into this race, along with TGL and Connor as well. So the Haas of Evan gets through. He's got 3 seconds to find if he's going to get towards the top of the field. Javi has made a move on Hackett into for that chicane. You can see Hackett coming back at him. Look at the straight line speed he's got there. I wonder if that's a wing difference. Didn't see too much difference in the exit that they got there, but Hackett keeps him as wide as possible. Now he's just got to be careful that he doesn't push too hard on exit, and that should just give Javi enough momentum around the outside. But again, you can just see he's pulling away, but look at the carnage it's causing behind. He's now 3 wide, and 2 people have just gone straight past him. Guna and Berserk, I think that was, and Guna's had to take to the side road. Guna gets a penalty for having to dive across the corner, but Guna does give the place back, and he's actually going to end up giving a couple of places back here, which is unfortunate. He just went too deep into the corner, lets him through. So fair play to Guna there. Knew he weren't going to make it. He didn't make it and gave the places back. Unfortunately, the penalty probably will not get removed. He'll have to serve that in his pit stop. So next thing again, maybe just biding his time a little further back here. Maradako putting some pressure on Evan again. So are we going to see an overtake into turn 1 as Maradako gets him a sideways? Ends up slightly off track. He's got to be careful of little Mikey, who's trying to now make a move on him. So this should be Mikey's moment, but actually I wonder if Maradako's just running that little bit less wing, because Mikey doesn't look like he's gaining, or maybe he's pumping a bit of ERS and Mikey's just saving it up. Waz has got past Honey Badger just behind. Oh, Mikey and Maradako going at each other here, and Mikey does get through. That must have been a late move. But Mikey finds his way through. Now just has to make up that difference. He cannot afford to lose the DRS to these two cars in front, so he can do with them fighting. But I think he's going to get clean runs into these corners and hopefully make up that difference, just to keep tabs. But Joe putting some pressure all over Evan here. And the front three looks like they've just sorted themselves out for a minute. They're giving each other a bit of a breather. They've got another 22 laps to complete before we find out the winner. There's no point in fighting each other too hard right now, as Connor has dropped to the back of the field. Jack makes up a place, but I'm assuming Connor's had to come into the pits again since. Maradako looking at Mikey again, but again not going to be close enough. Let's stick with Joe because he's gaining in. Hackett gets past Berserk and Raylight past Honey Badger, and here comes Joe. The move on Evan. He's going to flick to the outside. Is he going to have enough speed to get a whole car length ahead? He is, and Evan will tuck in just behind. They both get into the braking zone. Perfectly done. Mikey has managed to keep his position, but he's still not within DRS of those two in front, so he's got a bit of work to do here, and it feels like Relia might just be starting to catch the back of his teammate. He's got Maradako between him, but Wazza trying to put some pressure on him, but Relia, I think, just made the overtake himself. Actually, it was Honey Badger he overtook, wasn't it? So Wazza's managed to get past as well, and maybe they're working together now to try and pull in those cars ahead. Maradako quite close to Mikey here. And next he's actually dropped back by a couple of seconds. I wonder if he's made a mistake, or I don't know, but that's going to be costly for him, because again, no DRS, as Maradako seems to get that corner a little bit wrong, and Mikey's just able to have a little bit of a cushion. Here comes Maradako, and you can see the three cars in the distance. We'll probably have a shootout here as well. Maradako is on the inside. He's on the softer tyre. That should start to die off, and I think he's made that move. So let's just flick back as Wazza gets through on Relia. They don't seem to have held each other up too much there, and Honey Badger just happened to stick him behind. So here comes Wazza. He set that up nicely against Reliot there. He just makes sure he gets the cornering perfect. We're just going to flip to Mikey, who is now within a tenth of Maridarko. Wazza and Reliot are reeling him in. It was a couple of seconds not that long ago. And it's just under, oh, it's under 1.5 now. So Mikey doesn't want to be fighting Maridarko too much, but Maridarko's used all of his ERS now. As Reliot makes his way back past Wazza after Wazza set up a really, really nice move. His work is undone just because of DRS really, and that's what you get around this track. There's not a lot of point in fighting each other. You might as well just allow each other to keep slipstreaming and try to lose as little amount of time as possible. But Nexton, you can see the power of DRS with Nexton having absolutely no one to tow him along. He's just bleeding a second every couple of laps, and that gap at the front is just getting bigger and bigger, and the two that have kept the DRS are just able to drive away. Evan looks ever closer to Joe actually, and this could be an opportunity with DRS to get back through, and it is. And he moves up nicely. And we'll probably see Joe come back at him again in a second. It's going to be impossible to catch every single overtake today because these straights and the DRS moves just bring cars back at each other constantly. So it's good for overtaking. Probably quite predictable about what's going to happen, and we've got the Mercedes, both of them just making their way down the back straight now, and we'll probably see a little bit more overtaking as that little group behind Mikey now are gaining on him and probably will have DRS. And Maridarko is the first car in, I think. Haven't seen anyone else pit yet, so that releases Mikey. Mikey has got no DRS though. So that group behind him are probably going to find him even more, and that's Evan just getting back past Joe. So Joe must have got through again, and now he's jumped back ahead. And then there's a 5-second gap to Mikey. Reliot then 1.5 seconds back of Mikey. So they just dropped back off at the pace a little bit. I wonder if they were just fighting into that first corner. Honey Badger now dropping out of DRS. He's got to try and keep hold of that if he can. So use ERS if you've got it. And then the guys at the back are a little bit more spread out. Gunnar and Hackett maybe quite close together. Jack and Xavi quite close together, but they're so far back. It's probably not worth looking at just yet. So Honky within half a second. Those two out in front. Athanasu and Honky really controlled this since the start. Nexton got a really poor start. He's lost another second since we talked about him last. And I think that's only been a lap. And we've got Wazza putting on some pressure on Reliot again. So yeah, Nexton struggled off the start. Evan has made his way up to the front. That was the soft tyres kicking in. Joe's been up in 5th ever since really, fighting Evan slightly. And then Mikey's just been released by Maridarko, who's just pitted, and I think is the first and only car to have pitted legitimately because of strategy. And Wazza gets a bit out of shape. Honey Badger's now on the back of him, so that is the DRS taken care of. But is he close enough to make a move? It's given Reliot some respite, but look at the way they're reeling him in. They're not going to be quite close enough, but you can just see the power of the... and Wazza's just overshot the corner again, and Honey Badger's set him up nicely. That's a brilliant move from Honey Badger. He's actually on the soft tyre, which surely they must be screaming now. They can't be in great shape. And is he going to have a go at Wazza here into the chicane? He's outbroke himself a couple of times, but seems to get this one right, so yeah, fair play to him. Reliot is dropping back now from Mikey, so Mikey is slightly better on these older tyres, it seems, managing the gap pretty well. And then we've got Honky. We're going to jump on with him actually because he is starting to close in on our race leader and actually is getting out of the slipstream, probably because he wants to do it into turn 1, and he's the one on soft tyres, so you would think that he'd be struggling here, but I wonder if he's just been managing it. I wonder if he's coming in the pits because he's on the inside here. He's not. He just thinks he can do it without ERS, DRS, slipstream, all of that good stuff. He's already side by side with him, so yeah, fair play Honky with the grip on those soft tyres. And maybe they're just working together to make sure that they don't bring Nexton back into this. And through goes Joe. We just saw the back end of that. He gets through on Evan down the pit straight. Rayman's through on Honey Badger further down the field. And interestingly, Honey Badger... oh, he's in the pits, that's right. Because he was battling Wazza not that long ago. But yeah, Mikey continues to try and stretch that lead over Reliot, his teammate. But he's in a little bit of no man's land really, because he's got Evan 4.5 seconds down the road. Although that gap is starting to come down, I'm sure that was 5.8 last lap, so took a big chunk out of them. But we will see. Evan seems to have just dropped off the back of Joe a little bit there, so probably just wants to keep the DRS. Doesn't need to, again, slow him or Joe down at this stage of the race. As Nexton gets past Honky, because Honky is in the pits then, so he's come in to get rid of those soft tyres. He's 12 laps he's managed to make them last, so 15 laps he needs on those mediums. Seems fair if he can get his soft tyres that far. And then it's not going to be too long, so you'd expect about 3-4 laps and the medium runners start to come in. And we'll probably switch to softs. Interestingly, no safety car up to now. So that's not good news for people like Jack, who found himself in a horrible position off the start, but seems to have got himself back in amongst a few drivers that he's able to tag along with and have a little bit of a race with, which is good to see. And, Honky make his way past Hackett on those fresh tyres. Evan just starting to put a little bit of pressure back on Joe again. But again, would probably be wise not to fight too hard. Doesn't want to bring these Mercedes behind into play. Nexton looks like he's coming in. So all the soft runners now, I think, have come in. Athanasiu's actually in as well. He was actually on the medium, so that's an early stop. He's not going on to hards. He is going on to hards. That is a strange call, because surely he only needed a lap or more, and he could have jumped on the soft. So he has made some very strange strategy calls this season, and I think that might be another one of them, to be honest. When you can see that people have come in on softs and gone on to mediums, why would you then go on the hards? Surely you just stay out a little bit longer. But maybe he doesn't like to muck around with the grip life of the tyres. You see Evan just having a bit of a moment there while we were watching and looking at the strategies. And that's dropped him back. That gives Joe a little bit of breathing space. Gave him about a second worth of benefit. Mikey looks like his pace is just dropping off a little bit there. He's now 5 seconds back. It's not a surprise really with the DRS of the cars in front. And that's the Rayman out. That's going to be a safety car. And that is going to be poor timing for those that have just pitted. This is great for Joe, Evan, Mikey, Reliot. Reliot and Mikey, interesting. They're far enough apart, I think, to double stack here. So they've both got to come in, surely, and they can come in and get their softs on. Surely, let's get the tyre management up. I think that they're going to be able to jump some of these people here. I reckon the only person that might be okay. Well, you would suggest then that Nexton would be okay because he's in front of Maridarco. And both Mercedes are in, so they are double stacking. Honky makes his way back into the lead of the race by quite some distance, actually. So he's done very well. Athanasiu's out there, but he did have a big lead, to be fair to him. The Ferraris are probably the big one. Will Nexton and Maridarco get through? Maridarco, I think, is actually going to come in for softs. That's ruined his race strategy. And Reliot's come in the softs. Mikey's gone on the hards. Why? Why do you go on the hards there? I'm not sure about that. I mean, we're going to have 2 laps behind the safety car. We've had people doing at least 12 laps on those softs already. I mean, I know they must be a bit shot, but your fuel load's going down all the time. I'm surprised by these guys that have gone onto the hard tyre. I mean, Reliot and Wazza are going to have them for lunch. Maybe it's just a split strategy. Maybe they feel like that's a sensible move, but even by the time those softs drop off, you're going to be towards the end of the race here. So interesting, but Honky keeps the lead of the race. Athanasiou still up there in second. Next and third, Joe in fourth, Evan fifth, Mikey in sixth, and with a penalty. I didn't see what that was for. Reliot and Wazza in seventh and eighth, but on soft tyres and softer tyres than anyone else on the grid. So they could start making their way forward. I'm just very surprised that not to see more people on soft tyres. The only people I would expect not to be on them are the people that ran them at the first stint, but all of them had come in. So very strange choices. Okay, so the safety car is on its way in. It's been out for a few laps. Lap 16 at 27. Honky leads the way, and he's gone already. And Athanasiou, I think, has been caught napping here. Nearly a second gap between them already. Next and then in third, Joe in fourth. And these two in sixth and seventh are the two to watch because they're on the soft tyres. Are they going to be able to make their way through the field? But not too much chaos going on. There is a three-way battle here, though, between Wazza, Hackett, and I think Guna just pulled out of it wisely as he makes his way through the chicane as well. So Wazza's actually been caught up a little bit there, and Reliot is able to drive forward. So Reliot is the man that is probably going to make his way forward with those soft tyres. Let's just get rid of that graphic now. We know it's Reliot and Wazza the ones to watch. Yeah, no, just I've said it before. Just not too sure why we saw cars coming out of hard tyres when we knew that softs were going to get you to the end of the race. Maybe they didn't want to drive with slippery tyres at the end, but it just feels far too slow to me. And we've got another yellow flag. I think it's Jack again. We've got a virtual now, and it is Jack. I think he's beached himself in the gravel. He's got going again now, though. That's just killed any momentum in this. So again, we've got to wait for us to go green. I think we will probably have... Oh, this it's upgraded to a full. Oh, man. So we're going to have to wait again. I wonder if any cars will come in just to ditch harder tyres. The problem is, if you're near the front, you're going to come back out and be near the back of the field. So I can't imagine people at the front are going to want to come in. Xavi has come in, Brandon's come in. They're a bit further down the field, so it's not too much of a surprise to see that. But everyone at the front just got to stick out there and stick with your decision. So we'll have another couple of laps then behind the safety car, and we'll wait for Honky to get us going again. Got off to a really, really good start there. Caught Athanasiou out, and we're looking to do that again any second. Here, Reliot revving the crap out of his engine. That's just to try and burn off some excess fuel. Just to make himself a little bit lighter. Okay, so we're ready to come in again. Lap 19 this time. So we've got about 7 more laps worth of racing, 8 I think actually. Let's get onto the front with Honky, who's just going to back the field up now and take control of the pace whilst that safety car makes its way back into the pits. And just to remind you, Relliot and Wazza's got a second chance at this now. They're on the soft tyres. They're the ones that should be probably moving forward here with the grip. They've already lost 1 lap's worth of perfect grip. Honky continues to weave about, and I don't think Athanasiou wants to be caught out this time by the start, and he doesn't go in the same place, but Athanasiou still hasn't got off to the best of starts. Maybe something for him to work on, but Haywood has put pressure straight on Nexton. Look how close he is. They're both going to be draining their ERS. Haywood shifting left and right to see if he can find a way past, but Nexton's covering that beautifully. And it looks like Relliot's having a look at Evan on the inside. He's not going to chuck it up the inside there. Wazza again waiting patiently as well. Maybe a bit of a tap there as I said it. But we're all through pretty safely. The other Ferrari there, we can see in the background. The 2 Alpines are side by side further back there, 11th, 12th, Honey Badger and Stewart. Maradako looks like he's putting some pressure on that Red Bull. Ooh, he's just getting a bit out of shape, gives him a little tap there, and he's going to be due some space. He tries to give space back, and it's just put them both under a bit of pressure, and Guna is there waiting as well, but he won't chuck himself down the inside of that, and this is just holding them up big time here. Maradako just got to be sensible about that and try and get it done again in a minute. So down in 9th, and this is what I mean, the Ferraris seem to be struggling after converting a good qualifying session. Don't seem to be able to convert that in the races. Nexton, to be fair to him, up in 3rd and leading the championship, so maybe Maradako just needs to work on his race strategy rather than his quality. And here comes Relliot putting some pressure on Evan. Not quite there yet, and it looks like he's got the extra grip there. Wazza's struggling for some reason. I wonder if he was put under pressure, but Maradaka we saw was having a fight with Hackett, so I don't know why he's dropped so far off the pace. Relliot really needs to try and clear these as quickly as possible. He looks for a bit of fresh air there, give his car a little bit more downforce as he makes his way through turn 1. And the top 6 are all spread out pretty evenly, around about 6/10 between each car. I think Relliot wants these tyres to work in his favour. He needs to try and do something soon, but it's just got to be neat and tidy every single lap. Haywood now is over a second back from Nexton after attacking him into the first corner. He's just about to get back within a second, I think. No, he's just got the advantage that he's getting. Evan actually putting some pressure on Joe now. So Joe's had to go into defensive mode. Evan gets through. Can he start to push in on Nexton? But again, they're going to be out of this DRS zone. They've got to close it. Evan has done that though with the overtake, so they don't want to lose that DRS. Or you saw what happened to Nexton. He got left out, hung out to dry really. Relliot not really making the impression we thought he might. He's not been able to really push it at the back of Evan and Joe. But just give him a little bit more time as Evan chucks in the fastest lap of the race with a 21.7. So Honky still leading this race. Athanasiou right there with him. Nexton not too far behind. We've then got Evan, Joe, Relliot and Wazza, who's just settled down a bit now and is starting to catch Relliot again a little bit. And Relliot's actually out of DRS zone of Joe. So I think we did see it in qualifying actually. There was a slight gap between some of these drivers, and Joe seemed to be that little cut-off line. So, to be fair, I think Relliot did say earlier that he's not really touched the game, and that is Nexton making a mistake, and that's Evan that's going to get through here, but Nexton somehow manages to pick up some momentum just at the right time. He's going to get his nose out of there though. He knows he can fight that back in a second, but a rare mistake from Nexton then, and I wonder if he's going to knock the Christmas dust off, I think, maybe, because generally he's neat and tidy, and look, he's run out of ERS. I wonder if he just had to drain it trying to keep up, but look at Athanasiou trying to put some pressure on Honky here, and Evan, I don't think he's got a win in DTR yet, and to be honest, I'm rooting for him, There was a couple of chances at the end of last season where he could have done it. Maridako's passed Relic. Relic's starting to go backwards. Waz has also passed him, so I wonder if there's a mistake in there somewhere. And Athanasiou sticks his nose in. They keep it clean, and Evan is invited, and the door's open, and Evan's through into second place. So for the first time for a long time, actually since lap 1, we've got someone else into the top 2, and that is Evan. So can he push on and try and win this race now? And again, these two have looked a class above, really, but Evans just picked something up, and I think he's is he on the better tyre here? Well, Honky's on the same tyre, but just a little bit fresher for Evan. Athanasiou on the older tyre, and again, surprised that he came in for the softs. We're in the DRS zone again, but Evan will get DRS as well because of Honky giving him that. Athanasiou now finds himself in a place where he's going to need to try and overtake Evan. Doesn't want to take too long about it because he wants to just stick along with Honky there to try and nick the win off him at the end. But Nexton and Joe are also there, so they're not out of it either because Ingle picks up another 3 seconds. It's not his night tonight, but the safety car has saved him. He's back up into 12, and now he's out of the race, and that is another safety car. Cheers, Jackie boy. Just like to jinx you at the right moment, and that is probably one more lap, and we can't have another safety car. So this safety car is not going to be out for too long. And actually, these cars are passing it, so it's going to be interesting as Reddit dives in the pits. That's wrong decision. Do not pit now, because that safety car is going to come in almost straight away, and you're all going to be hit by Delta. So those people pitting now have just lost themselves points, and the guys that have just gone through there are going to pick up some really easy points here. They're not going to have enough time to catch this pack. Bad decision. Going to be interested to see. To be fair, I think they might actually be okay because obviously the safety car is out on track. That safety car is going to have to do. It'll come in the same lap, so those cars at the back are going to have to get on with this. But this safety car is going to bring Honky round and then come straight in. So, and I think they will just have enough time to catch it, but. Yeah, still not sure about the decision. Think about how many cars you've got to overtake. Mikey not going to be picking up any points here, and Nexton in 4th probably is going to pick up some decent points. Might even be able to get back at Athanasiou. He's got, well, I mean, Athanasiou's tyres probably feel a bit fresher, even though he's on the softer compound. But again, these cars are going to, I think they'll just get there, won't they? Yep, so as we guessed, safety car is straight in. We're going to have 2 final racing laps. And Mikey's not caught the pack yet. I think it is a bad decision to pit there. Everyone else was in the same position, and Honky's gone already, and Evan's not been able to... he's done a better job, actually, than Athanasiou. And look at Athanasiou again, he's struggling. He's got Nexton right behind him. And we know he's not afraid to use a bit of ERS, but look at this. Wazza's already at Joe. They're side by side. They're going to have Nexton for company. And is Wazza going to slow down? He but he gets the job done. Wazza up into 5th. He's not got long to get on with this. So, yeah, had to make the move there, but did it safely. Nexton then. The front 4 all separated by 7/10. Joe just keeping up with Wazza here. So Wazza... Oh, and he's side by side. I didn't see that with Maridarko. Look at that. And they've given each other space. Maridarko's made it work. And there's an Alpine trying to chuck his nose in there for size. But, oh, he is going to get there. He's going to do it. And TGL's done it. And that is... Oh, that's so hard on Joe. He's had such a good race. And that was maybe just too many cars trying to take too many places all at once. Maridarko is side by side with TGL. And they've got Brandon in there. Brandon's not been in the race at all. And he's in the top 10 here. Maridarko is fighting the position. They're fighting so hard, and there's another incident behind these lot. I can't see it. And it's a Mercedes. Is it Mikey? Yeah, I think it's Mikey. Oh, I don't know. One of them's out, and I can't tell. Oh no, is he out? Yeah, it's Reliot. It's Reliot. It's not Mikey. Look at the carnage going on here. The front 4 seem to have sorted themselves out, and Brandon is looking for a way past Maridarko, and he's done it. Look at this, Brandon. He's come from nowhere. Is that an Alpine? It is an Alpine. 2 Alpines actually back there. Maridarko's fought back and he's managed to keep the place. And now the Alpines, they look like they're having a bit of a scrap. And look at this. This is a mess. Honey Badger has cut across the front of TGL. Not sure whose fault it was, but look at everyone behind. It's just a complete mess. Mikey somehow makes his way up into 9th place. And he's got Hackett now. He's going around the outside of him. That will become the inside. So Mikey's pit stop maybe not so bad in the end. Probably not going to pick up more than that though. And there's still a bit of mess from Hackett just behind. As Brandon now clearing away. That 7th place looks locked up now. We're just going to jump to the front of the field. This is where the action is. And this is the final chance for people to make their moves. Because we're on the final lap. Honky, after really dominating this race, has just got one more corner to navigate. But Evan is not far behind. 5/10. Can the slipstream pull him in? Can he nick it on the line here? He's gaining on him all the time. And he chucks so much speed into that final corner. It's 3/10, but was going the wrong way now. He's pulling him back in slightly. It's not going to be enough, and it's going to be Honky for the win. Honky, Evan, brilliant race from Evan there. Athanasiou in 3rd, Nexton 4th. Big points for the championship. Wazza does well on those soft tyres in 5th. Maridarko comes 6th and recovers well. Brandon, nowhere in this race. And right at the end, nicks some points. Mikey, I think, makes a critical mistake by pitting, but comes in 8th. Hackett in 9th. Xavi in 10th. He wasn't really anywhere to be seen. He's up into 10th and nicking points. TGL looks like he was battling hard at the end there. Guna in 12th. Honey Badger in 13th. Berserk in 14th. And I'm so disappointed for Joe. His race was so good, only to be a bit mudded at the end there, with a couple of people fighting right at the end. So he is going to be fuming, I dare say. 15th for him, after really he should have been in that top 5 in my opinion. So the game's given Hackett the driver of the day. So just to run through that grid again then, Honky dominated from start to finish today, took the safety cars really, really well. Honky in 1st, Evan in 2nd, who looked like he was going to be fighting for sort of that 4th place for a long time with Joe, but really took advantage of that last stint and made a 2nd place for himself, so well done to him. Athanasiou, again, he was one of those front 2 for long periods of time, just got nicked in there by Evan. He comes 3rd, still a good result. Nexton, brilliant result for him in the championship. He will have wanted more here, but 4th is still a great haul of points considering Mikey, his challenger, could only finish in 8th. Wazza in 5th, great strategy from him. Went on the soft tyres, decided to stay out on them, and that paid him back there. Maridarko in 6th. Brandon from absolutely nowhere takes 7th. Little Mikey sort of in and around that sort of spot, but I think he could have had a couple more places if he hadn't pitted. Hackett in ninth, Xavi in 10th, then picking up the final points. We've then got TGL, Stewart, Guna, Honey Badger, Berserk, and then I think it was Hayward that was in 15th place, and they are the drivers that finished. We then have at the bottom who didn't finish, Reliot, who'd been running a really good race, Connor, Kazingle on his first return, and it looked so promising for him after quali, but couldn't finish the race, and the Rayman was the first safety car. Didn't see what happened to him. But anyway, thank you very much for joining us again this week. We'll be back for round 9 next week. I can't remember the track off the top of my head, but hopefully you'll be there to join us, and we'll see how this Division 2 unfolds. So thank you very much, and we'll see you next week.